Hello and welcome back to Phoebe's cooking channel. Today is episode number 3, and for dinner tonight I am making some pork tenderloin with mashed potatoes for my daughter Sky. That's her favorite.
Hi again.
And some stewed / sauteed collard greens with some carrot for sweetness. So the first thing I'm going to do today is to get the mashed potatoes going. So I love Yukon Gold potatoes. I buy them in a bag like this. If the russet potatoes are cheaper that day, I'll probably get a bag of russet potatoes. And hello, River. But today I have the Yukon Golds. I just think that they're much more creamy and have a much better flavor. So in this pan, I just have peeled and diced potatoes in cold water, and this is my favorite peeler, and I always use a garbage bowl here. It just makes it easier than going back and forth to the trash. So I'm just gonna peel this guy here really quick.
JK, I'm just kidding.
And then it's really important that you have all of your potatoes the same size so that they cook together. If you're in a hurry, you can dice them smaller. If you're not in too much of a hurry, you can make them a little bit bigger. And then I just kind of chop them up like this. Photographer, are you paying attention?
YOLO, no.
Okay. And then just to make it a little special today, I'm actually going to put 2 cloves of garlic in the water as my potatoes cook. And this is just going to, it's not like roasted garlic mashed potatoes, but it's still going to give the garlicky flavor. And I think that that just makes it a little extra special and yummy. You can roast garlic and add that in at the end, or you can just boil it like that. So
Plop.
And if you put the lid on it, it just makes it come to a boil so much quicker. So next thing we're going to do is get our pork tenderloin ready. So I buy my pork tenderloin at Costco. You get 2 big packs for like 20 bucks. So this is 1 package of pork tenderloin. It comes with 2 long tenderloins, and there's this silver skin right here. You can see it. This, if you leave this on, it gets really tough and gross when you cook it. So you want to peel that off. So I was just going to show you really quick that you just get your little knife under here and you can kind of just take it off like that. And you'll just discard that part.
Don't worry, she's not going to cut me.
All right. Okay, and that was a little kiss for my Sky. Okay, so now that I touched the meat, I'm just going to wash my hands really quick to keep everything nice and clean. I was also going to mention that pork tenderloin is basically the filet mignon of the pig. So it's really, really soft and yummy. It's one of my favorite cuts of meat. You can use pork loin or you can use pork chops if you want, but I love the pork tenderloin. So salt and pepper on this side. I don't know. Maybe someone can help us with that, but it works. So salt and pepper on this side.
My back hurts.
And we are going to take a little break while we find out what's going on with Sky's back. Be right back. Okay, so our pan over here is preheating on a medium-high heat. We have our oven preheated at 450 degrees. This is because we're going to brown our pork tenderloin in the pan, and then we're going to finish it in the oven. Again, I'm going to add a little bit of regular olive oil, not extra virgin, just to get everything going a little bit. And the pan's already pretty hot, so I can get the meat in here. So once you put it in here, you don't want to touch it. You just want to let it
Mom, you didn't
go.
do the other side of that one.
I didn't?
No, not that one. That one.
No, I did. I did those before.
Oh.
So you don't really want to overcrowd the pan because it'll bring down the temperature of the pan, but I think we're okay here. So while that's browning, I am going to be serving this dish with collard greens. You can use kale or spinach, but collard greens and kale, they have this big stem down the middle, and that's really tough to eat. So you just want to take the leaves and like just strip it off the stem and you'll throw this in the trash. So I've already done the rest of this.
Put that thing in your trash.
In the garbage bowl. Thank you, Sky. So I'm going to roll up the leaves like a cigar, and then it just makes it easier to chop. And I'm going to just chop it into ribbons. This is the same technique you would do with fresh herbs. And then I'll set this aside. Sky is a huge mashed potatoes fan, and she's not a huge vegetable fan, so we'll see if she likes it. Typically on my plate, I will do mostly the vegetables and the meat, and then I will only do a little bit of the potatoes, and the kids will have mostly meat and potatoes and like hardly any vegetables, so that's what we do with that. So let me see this. The potatoes haven't come up yet. They take quite a while. So I guess this is the perfect time to take a break, so we'll be right back. All right, so I have the pork tenderloin, and it's browned on one side, and we're about to flip it. And when you're using a stainless steel pan like this, the meat has a tendency to stick, but if you let it get a nice crust on it, then it won't stick for you. If you try and turn it too early, it's going to stick. Look at how beautiful that is. So we're going to flip it over. And we're not cooking it all the way through. We're just getting the outside brown, and then we're going to pop it in the oven. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes on this side, and this is going to be so good. And then let's check on our potatoes. They are not yet ready. So I guess we'll take another break, and we'll be right back. Okay, so our pork tenderloin is browned on both sides. I'm going to take it out of the pan and put it on this cookie sheet to finish off in the oven.
But what about the sides?
The sides of
the pork tenderloin.
You just need to do the top and the bottom. That's good. So I'm going to pop this whole thing in the oven.
Look at those red things.
Those are, Gammy got those for us because it's supposedly supposed to prevent burns. So let's hope that works. All right, I'm going to set the timer for like 10 minutes.
I don't know if you can see it or not.
You can, kind of.
It says 10.
Okay, so see all these brown bits in the pan and all this oil and yummy stuff? I'm going to start the side dish. So I'll start it with the carrots, which is just one carrot diced up.
One carrot?
Yeah, you don't have to put the carrot in there, but it just adds a nice sweetness to the collard greens. So I'm going to start off with the carrot. I'm going to give that a couple minutes. And hopefully our potatoes will cook in the meantime. Okay, so I'm trying to get up a little bit of the brown bits off the pan. We have love. All right, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my chopped up collard greens. These only take a few minutes, so this is going to be done way before everything else. Okay, so the collard greens only take about 2 to 3 minutes to wilt down. As I said earlier, you can substitute kale if you want. I'm going to add a couple additional things to this pan. Do you see all these brown bits in there? This is going to add so much flavor to the sauce. Probably, I don't know why it's popping, but because it's hot. See how everything's turning really dark green now?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of, this is like a chicken base. So you can use chicken broth. Since I don't, since I don't have chicken broth, I'm just going to add a splash of water to it also. And this will help get all those brown bits off the bottom.
Owie!
Stand back, baby. This is cooking. Hey, Sky, look at her now. Do you see how the brown bits are off the pan?
Yeah. Whoa, that was quick.
Yeah, that's just, the liquid is what does that. So we do have some extra things to add to this for flavor. And one of them is butter. And then we have some molasses. If you've never used molasses, it tastes like those malted milk powder, and I think it's so good. It has a really sweet, rich flavor. You can add some honey or some agave nectar or brown sugar if you want. I just think like this has a really complex, yummy flavor. In addition, like anytime you cook dark greens, you really need to add acidity. Like when I was growing up, my parents used to make me the boxed frozen spinach, and they used to always put balsamic vinegar and garlic salt with it, and something about the acidity with any green is really good. I doubt they would make that for me today. I mean, that was back in the 80s, but I'm adding some apple cider vinegar to this today. So just like I said, any sort of acidity and sweetness really boosts up the flavor of the greens. So if you didn't want to make this a side dish, you could always just make like a regular green salad. That would be great. I'm sure my kids would be happy if I just served them the pork and the mashed potatoes only. Okay, so the potatoes are just about up to a boil, so I'm going to season them now.
That looks really different.
And you really need to add a bunch of salt to it, like a lot of salt.
Yeah, every time I taste it, because I'm a taste tester, I always say more salt, more salt, more salt. Am I right?
You are right, my lady. Okay, so we're going to take another break, and when we come back, hopefully the potatoes will be ready to smash them up. So, be right back. Okay, so the pork tenderloin has been in the oven for about 10 minutes now. We're going to take it out and check its temperature. So, one of the most important tools in the kitchen is a meat thermometer. I was fortunate enough to get this awesome one from my dad, Rodney, and Mom. They're a team. But you want your pork to be at least 145. Look, it's 146. That's perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it aside and just cover it and let it rest and turn off my oven while we get everything else ready. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is check our potatoes. So we want to make sure that they're nice and soft. So what I do is I grab something like this, and I just pierce it with a knife and see how it just kind of goes through it. That means it's done.
Oh, that looks so good.
So we're going to show you. You definitely need some hot pads for this.
Hot the pads. Hot the pads.
So I'm going to drain it. You can give yourself a facial at the same time if you like.
How is that possible?
You just put your face in the steam and it steams your face. Nice. Okay, then I just dump everything back in the hot pan after I drain it.
You should put cold water on it because then it will cool it down.
We don't want to do that. Okay, so if I'm making mashed potatoes for like Thanksgiving, then I use something like this, which is called a ricer. And you put the potatoes in here and then you press it through and they come out the bottom. And it gives them like this beautiful, even consistency. During the week, I don't have time to do all that, and it's one less dish to clean. But if you want to make them beautiful and perfectly smooth, this is what you need. So we're going to just do it the regular old way and add some butter. I usually use like a stick of butter, to be honest with you. But again, I don't eat the potatoes. These are for my kids. I just eat the veggies and the meat, usually. But you gotta get in there and smash it up. So normally I'll start it with just the butter, and then I'll add the milk at the end. You can use heavy cream, half and half. You can use skim milk. You can use chicken broth. You can use cream cheese, sour cream, whatever you have.
You're also getting muscles while you do this.
Yes, you can take out your aggressions when you're smashing the potatoes.
Make potatoes if you're mad.
And then you won't be mad anymore.
If you smash them.
Okay, so see how they're pretty much... Woo! And that happens. I don't measure anything. I just kind of start with some, and then you always want to start with a little bit less.
Maybe that looks weird. But of course, I'm going to eat it, so I shouldn't be saying that. Because it looks really good, actually.
Yeah. And then I have a piece of collard green and a carrot in there because I was using the same utensil, but no biggie. All right, we're going to get these mashing, and let's have Sky take a taste to see where we're at on seasoning. Yes! And I can almost guarantee you she's going to say more salt, but I'd rather start with less. Ava, are you going to be my taster as well?
Yeah, she's going to video well.
All right. So I think that the consistency is nice. It's just a matter of the seasoning. So I have no heat on here. They're still really hot.
Show Mom.
Okay, so Sky's going to have a taste test.
Hello.
But you need to blow. Be careful, please.
That's John.
I know.
Of course, more salt.
More salt, okay. Ava, would you like a sample?
Yes, please.
All right.
Huh.
Let's see what little Ava thinks.
Mommy,
okay, keep blowing on it. More salt, or is it good? Look at the camera. Tell them what you think. Yummy.
I say more salt. I don't.
All right, so hey, if you want to add more salt, you can add more salt now. You can allow people to salt it at the table, but I like to get the seasoning perfect. So the potatoes.
Maybe a little more pepper too, or pepper.
Okay.
Oh, I see the carrot. I don't want the carrot.
I'll eat the carrot bite. Okay, so our potatoes are ready. Our pork is ready, and all we have to do now is just finish our side dish. And in order to do that, we're going to add, like I said before, the apple cider vinegar, which is going to add a nice tartness to it, which just brings out the flavors of everything. We're going to add the molasses, which look at that. It looks so good. Smell it, Sky. Here, taste it.
No.
Just taste it. Tell me what it tastes like. It's like a sweetness, but it has a... Okay, Sky doesn't really like much. She's very picky. But you know what? This is more for me.
Yeah.
And then I always feel better if I offer a vegetable, even if they don't eat it. And I'm going to add a 1 pat of butter.
Butter.
Butter is yummy. All right, so we're just going to kind of let this heat up together, and then we can plate everything up, and we'll be good to go for dinner. And this whole thing probably took about half an hour max. All right, here it is, the final product. We have the mashed potatoes on the bottom, our beautiful pork tenderloin that I sliced up. It's a nice medium well consistency. It has a little pinkness to it, but it's not raw. It has the veggies with it, and I just poured the juices from the collard greens over the top. Tell me you don't want to dig into that. So we're about to eat dinner, so join us next time on Phoebe's Cooking Channel, and have a good night. Like and subscribe, and comment down below on any recipes you'd like to see. Take care. Bye-bye.